Hello everyone, welcome back to RaceRoom and what could well be my finest sim racing performance ever. Races like this don't come around very often, but when they do, well, it's an absolute joy, and I'm really excited to bring this one to the channel today. I'm racing the NSU on Suzuka's East circuit, and just like my last outing in this car a few weeks ago, I've managed to stick it on the front row of the grid. But I'm not on pole position today though. El Draco's going to start from the front thanks to his 101.5, which was 0.2 faster than my 101.7. One thing's for sure though, this race is going to be incredibly close. The top 5 are separated by just 0.3 of a second. A good start is going to be absolutely vital, and I've been practicing them in this car after my disastrous getaway at Hockenheim last time out. And as we go down to the grid, I was feeling really confident about my chances of a strong start, but that confidence quickly disappeared when the car started to roll forward as the red lights came on. You can see it slowly creeping forward right there, which sends me into a blind panic. The last thing I want to do is get a jump start penalty, so I get off the gas, and as a result, I've completely blown the start yet again. And I saw 2 drive-through penalty alerts pop up on screen, so clearly other drivers caught out by the slope too, but I think we must have stopped the roll in time. We haven't been given a penalty, but we are down to 5th. Make that 6th as Pablo Manoa tucks it up the inside coming out of turn 1. And we've lost the driver behind. Bernd Weiser has crashed out. That's what the yellow flag was for. I just saw him spinning around in my rearview mirror. We've now got Kez for company right behind. We're not going to get any peace in this race whatsoever. Yellow flags are out again. There's 2 cars coming together in front. That's going to give us the opportunity to go wide. There may be some positions to gain here. Someone else has lost it. Oh, there's big contact as he slides back onto the track. We couldn't do anything about that, and we've picked up some suspension damage. I hope that won't affect us too much. It looks to be pretty minor, but I may have to ease off slightly until I can be sure that the car is handling okay. But yeah, it was Adrian Maddox who span back into the track, and we had no way of avoiding it. However, it has enabled us to claim one of those positions back. We're going to end lap 1 up to 5th. Right, let's check out the highlights from the first lap, beginning with this disastrous start. And actually, you can barely see the car moving before the lights go green, but it certainly felt like it was moving in the cockpit, and it was enough to spook me at the worst possible time. I completely missed the launch. And as a result of that, we were down to 5th before we even made it to T1. By the time we exited T1, we were down to 6th. Meanwhile, behind, Bernd Weiser getting it all wrong. He got a little bit of a nudge from behind, which spun him round. And then a couple of corners later, it got even messier. Watch Adrian Maddox. He tried to make a move up the inside. I think he was half on the grass there. He takes a big nudge, spins around. We can't quite see the contact there with my car as I tried to get around. The helicopter cam may give us a better perspective. Now watch the car in second, the black car. That's Kevin Jelfs, and he's going to get sideways after taking a nudge from Rodriguez Gil in third. That invites the green car of Maddox up the inside to take third. Maddox tries for second, but there's contact with Gil, and that's where he slides back on the track and hits me. Well, we're having a really strong second lap here. We've managed to close in on the pack in front while gapping Kez behind in 6th. Kez now 1.1 seconds back, so we've got a bit of breathing room behind, which is going to enable us to concentrate on chasing the front 4 here as we start lap 3. Jacko, the pole position man, leading the way. Gil in 2nd, Manoa 3rd, Jeff's in 4th, and we're in 5th. And as we cross the line, we've just posted a purple lap, the fastest lap for us on lap 2. That's a real sign of encouragement. And Manoa in 3rd has gone really wide in turn 1. He's taken Jeff's with him, so that is going to give us a real opportunity to close right in on these 2 guys in front. Look at them battling. Manoa switching to the right, Jeff switching to the left. I think there was a little bit of contact in all that too. But yeah, I'm really encouraged by the fastest lap. That tells me that I've got the pace to stick with these guys and challenge. So this race isn't over yet, despite the poor start. Look at Jeff's getting sideways into that right-hander. That might give us a sniff up the inside. We won't have the inside for the next corner though, so it's probably best to back out of that one. And this right-hander is really tough when you leave the GP circuit, particularly when you're so close behind someone. It's a blind apex at the best of times. When you've got your view blocked by a car in front, it's even more tricky. But we are right behind Jeffs now. We're going to switch to the inside line as Jeffs goes for the racing line. We haven't quite got the power to get alongside him, so I'm going to tuck back in behind and see what extra traffic he can get. Oh, he eases right off the gas there. Jeffs has slowed right down. What on earth has gone on there? He's just picked up a drive-through penalty as well, so he must have been in a panic trying to serve a slowdown penalty. That's why he stopped so quickly. He didn't get it done though, and he's been handed a penalty. That's promoted us up to 4th. Yeah, looking at the replay, I can't see anything too obvious that would have handed Jeffs a slowdown penalty. I can only assume it was when he ran wide at T1 here along with Manoa. I mean, it certainly doesn't look like the type of mistake that you would usually get a slowdown penalty before, but whatever caused it, he certainly got on the brakes really quickly into T1 here. I managed to swerve out and avoid him. It could have been so much worse, but yeah, an easy pass in the end to give us 4th position. We're a third of the way through the race now, so what can we do about Pablo Manoa and Rodriguez Gil in front? They're battling pretty ferociously for that 2nd position, and we are slowly closing in on them. The gap to Manoa now, just 0.7 of a second as we start the charge down the start and finish straight. If I can get close enough to Manoa to consider making a move, I might need to tread a little bit carefully. I'm slightly concerned by his rating and reputation. You can see it in the leaderboard on the top left of the screen. However, we have picked up a massive toe from Manoa here, and he's run a little bit wide into T1, so this is the opportunity. We got the inside line. Oh, Manoa slams the door and squeezes us out onto the grass. I thought I had that pass sewn up, but no. Manoa came right back onto the racing line. There was no room for me, and I was forced out onto the grass. We had to back out of that one to avoid a spin. Thankfully, we're okay. We'll go back and check out a replay of that shortly to see whether it was a little bit too aggressive or whether it was just a fair defensive move. We'll check that out shortly, but for now we're right on Manoa's tail again. We're putting him under all kinds of pressure. And I did say at the start of the last lap I was a little bit worried about his rating and reputation. It is very low, but clearly Manoa is an incredibly quick driver because he is battling properly for a podium finish here. We're going to get another toe down the start and finish straight. This time Manoa's going to go defensive. He moves to the inside, so we've got no choice but to stay on the outside here. We're alongside now. Can we carry the momentum around the outside of T1 this time? Well, the inside didn't work a lap ago. Let's see what we can do. We've got to keep it within limits. We do just that. But even with the extra momentum and the extra pace we built up down the start finish straight, we can't get past Manoa. I feign a little move to the inside there, just trying to spook Manoa really, but boy, he is making us work for this. He is a tough nut to crack. I do want to get around him sooner rather than later because we're approaching the halfway point of this race, and the leader, Jacko, is beginning to clear off. He's a couple of seconds down the road now. Oh, there's a mistake from Manoa. The rear just stepped out. That's going to put him offline. We tuck it up the inside. Have we got him? Yeah, we're up to 3rd position. I think we've lost Manoa, actually. The yellow flags came out, and yeah, Manoa has crashed out. And that has put us up into the top 3 with half of this race still to go. And here's a replay of the first attempt at a pass. Manoa running really wide into T1. I'm tucking it up the inside here, and we just can't tell from this camera angle just how tightly I was squeezed there. Maybe the chopper cam will give us a better answer. I certainly got my nose ahead of his by the time I hit the apex, but yeah, look at that. There's no room for me there. I get nudged right out onto the grass. But persistence pays off, and on the next lap I finally got my chance to take that 3rd position. Now the best view of this mistake will be on board with Gil looking back. There's the mistake. Manoa gets onto the grass. That makes him miss his braking point, and at that point he's got no way to stop. Bang! He's into the barrier. Manoa out. We're up to 3rd. Well, I'm beginning to think that the race win might be a little bit beyond us here. El Jacko, the pole position man, has been flawless ever since the lights went green. He's not made a single mistake, and he's opened up a 2-second lead. Even if I can get around Gil to take 2nd position, 2 seconds is going to be a tough gap to close down when our lap times are almost identical. Gil, on the other hand, I certainly feel like I've got a bit of extra pace here. I do have confidence that I can get around him. Look how close we are now. Oh, we almost turned in a little bit too early. I said earlier in the race that's a blind apex, and it's tricky to find when you're close behind someone. I almost got that really wrong. Thankfully we corrected it, and we're still in a decent position to strike here. We're going to pick up some toe. There's extra speed to be had. We're going to pull out to the inside. Now the big question is, have we got enough extra speed to pull alongside Gil? It looks like we have. We're side by side approaching T1, so as long as I'm brave and hold my line, we should get this 2nd position. Yes, we have done. Gil's got no answer, so that's promoted us up to 2nd. Now what's the gap to El Jacko ahead? It's 2 seconds. We've got our work cut out for us here, but we've still got 6 minutes to go. Let's try and do it. yeah, it was a pretty comfortable pass on Gill in the end, this one. We're side by side on the approach to T1, but watch Gill, he just lifts a little bit early. He lets me have that position, far less aggressive than Manoa. We're returning to the live action 1 lap later, and just look at that gap to El Jacko ahead. It's now down to 0.7 of a second. In 1 lap, we have halved Jacko's advantage. I said a couple of laps ago that I thought the race win might be a step too far. Well, I'm going to have to revise that statement now, because I'm really encouraged by the progress we're making here. We are on it. But of course, catching Jacko will be one thing. Actually passing him will be a completely different proposition. We do have a back marker further down the straight. Will that come into play? Will that help me get another couple of tenths back? There's still more than 4 minutes on the clock as we cross the finish line, so we're definitely going to get another 4 laps here, probably 5, as the back marker Schofield kindly pulls over to the side and lets us both by. So we do have the time to get this done, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we've got to catch El Jacko and get right on his tail. At the moment, we're still 0.7 of a second, so we haven't really gained over the last lap. However, this is the section of the track where I do feel I might be a little bit quicker than him. We're visibly closer now, 0.5 of a second. Jacko takes too much of the curb on the inside. That's going to send him offline. This is our chance to close right in, and we've done it. We're right on his tail now. If we can just stay within 0.2, 0.3 of a second through these final 2 corners onto the start-finish straight, we should be able to use our extra speed from the toe to make a move. Are we close enough? It's 0.4 of a second. I don't think we are. Jacko looked really strong through those final 2 turns, so we're not going to be able to make a move into turn 1 this time. So what we've got to concentrate on now is using our advantage through the S's to close that gap back in. Oh, and Jacko's running in too hot into T1. He's sideways. The rear stepped out. I thought for a moment that he was gone. He's managed to save it, but we're right back with him now. Have we got the speed to make a move up the inside into this left-hander? No, we're not quite close enough. There's not enough room. But I reckon that Jacko is feeling the pressure now. That was a big mistake into T1. He was really lucky to save it. Fair play to him. But yeah, he's under all kinds of pressure now. Can we make him crack? I'm not too sure that there's any obvious overtaking opportunity before the end of the lap, and if we can run it around the outside here, we'll have the inside for the final 2 turns. Again, we're not quite close enough. Jacko slams the door shut. However, we're a lot closer coming out of the final turn this time. In fact, we couldn't be any closer. We almost touched. But this is surely the opportunity that we needed to pick up some extra speed from a toe and make the move, or is it? Look at the extra pace that Jacko has got down this start and finish straight. Where's he found that from? Oh, that's a bit of a blow, actually. Every other pass I've made, I've relied on the extra speed that a toe gives you, but I didn't get it there. And look at Jacko, once again he's sideways through this corner. And once again we close right back onto him because of it. But yeah, that extra speed he's got down the straight is a bit of a worry. It's certainly not setup. This is a fixed setup race. I wonder whether he might be using an H-pattern shifter and clutch to change gear, and that might be what gives him the extra speed. I don't know, but I think now if we're going to get past him, we're going to have to do it through these turns, and that is going to make it a lot more difficult. Of course, the other option is to put him under so much pressure that he cracks and makes a mistake. He's certainly looking a little bit ragged. He's trying so hard to fend us off. Right, here we are, down the start-finish straight again. Are we going to be able to stick with him this time? We tuck right back in to get as much toe as possible, 0.2 of a second. But yeah, look at him. He's clearing off again. We've got no chance of getting alongside him. And now we are running out of time. There's 1 minute 15 on the clock, so this will be the penultimate lap. There'll be one more lap after this one. Can we do it? Can we make the pass through these turns? This is the section of the lap that we know we're quicker. Can we tuck it up the inside into this left-hander? We're going to give it a go. No! Jacko closes the door. It's going to be so difficult to get alongside him before the apex. We're going to try again. This time we might have done it. We're side by side into this left-hander. Now we're going to have the outside line, so it's important to try and carry as much speed as possible. We don't want to surrender this opportunity now, but we need to get it done before the final 2 turns because we don't want to get hung out to dry on the outside, and we've done it. We've made it stick. We've got past Jacko. We're now leading this race with 1 lap to go, but let's not start writing the victory speech yet because we know Jacko's got extra speed down this start-finish straight. All I can do now is try and break the draft wherever I can because otherwise he is going to storm past us. Look at him in the rearview mirror. He is absolutely flying. He's going to move to the outside, so we're going to defend on the inside. Can we hold on to it through turn 1? It's never been more important to get my braking right than it is right now. Otherwise, if we make a mistake, it's game over, but we've held on to it. And this is the part of the track that we're quicker, so we need to make it count now. 0.5 of a second is the gap. If we can just extend it by a few more tenths, then I'll feel a lot more comfortable. But let's not forget the start-finish straight as well. The finish line is a long way down the straight, and if Jacko is carrying all that extra speed again, he could still pip us in a drag race to the line. Let's hope that doesn't happen. We've got 2 more corners to go after this one. Hold your nerve, don't blow it now. We've got 1 more apex to hit and we might be home and dry. The gap behind now is 1 second. I don't think Jacko's close enough to challenge. All eyes on the rearview mirror. Is he gaining? He is a little bit, but it's not enough. And this finish line can't come soon enough. There it is. We're going to cross the line and take the victory. The rarest of race wins. It doesn't happen very often on CR Sim Racing, but it's happened today. What a classic. Well, this victory certainly didn't come easy. We had to work incredibly hard for it. This is the moment where we took the lead. We tuck it up the inside of Jacko here. But at this point, the job is far from done because we're on the outside for the next corner. So the important thing here was just to carry enough momentum to stay alongside him while giving him space to race safely. Then we finally get our noses in front just in the nick of time because we can close the apex off in the final 2 turns. What a thrilling conclusion to an absolutely sensational race. It's got to be one of my best ever. Yeah, I can't really think of another race where I've put in as good an all-round performance as that one. And not just because of the race win either, but because I had to do it the hard way after such a poor start. And not only do we sit on top of the leaderboard, but we also posted the fastest lap of the race too, a 1:01.3. That was 4 tenths quicker than my qualifying time. So yeah, what an absolute belter that was. I do hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed racing it and as much as I enjoyed putting the video together on it. Like I said earlier, wins don't come along very often on this channel, so I've got to celebrate one when it does come around. And if you're not completely exhausted by NSU action, you can also check out this video on screen now. It's the Hockenheim race I did a few weeks ago. It's also a cracker. But that's it from Suzuka for now. I'm going to go for a lie down in a dark room to recover for a bit, and I'll see you on the grid again very soon. Thank you ever so much for watching.